This is my track evaluation for my recent assignment. For this track evaluation, I shall be discussing my referencing, my methods of production, and the reason for my methods of production in this track. My track is a combination of hip-hop rap for the style of vocals and EDM for the instrumental. I gained influence for the track idea and methods of production from a few songs, such as Love Song by Uzi, No Fun by Joji, Beach House by the Chainsmokers, Different Class Same Boat by Powfu, and Mind Your Manners also by Powfu, featuring Roseboy. In Uzi's song, Love Song, it demonstrates how effective a simple sampled beat behind some very simple rap vocals with a small amount of production can be. This song shows just by having two vocals layered on top of each other, even with not so great production, can still create a nice sounding track. I put this technique to practice in my track by including not too overly produced rap vocals in some of my verses. In the song Beach House by the Chainsmokers, they use a simple guitar melody as their starting progression. Then during the pre-chorus it expands into this wide, more digitalized and synthesized melody that leads into the chorus. I especially like this technique, and I made it obvious in my track by also having a simple guitar melody as my main track piece to center around the progression, into some heavy synthesized strings in the chorus. In Powfu's song, Mind Your Manners, it includes a great bit of electronic piano as its main melody, which I used as a composition idea. Using the melody of my sample guitar, I created a MIDI track with the electronic piano in the track. Then I put the sampled melody of the guitar on my electronic piano track. This was used as a build-up to the chorus on my pre-chorus. I panned this to the right slightly to create more space and atmosphere in my track, and I did a similar technique with my bass that I panned slightly to the left. Here's an example of some production techniques I did in my track. I'll start off with my simple sidechain compression on my main guitar melody with the kick, to dip the guitar slightly and add more presence and impact to the kick. Another technique I did was adding a filter to my guitar sample melody and use an automation mode to activate it only during the bridge of the song to create a sense of a breaking point in the track. And I then also use an automation mode on the rate of the filter to create a crescendo towards the final chorus by slowly decreasing the wetness of the filter without actually toggling the dry wet, because I still wanted some of the filter on the guitar during the bridge of the song. I used automation mode on a vast majority of my vocals in instrumental production, as it's an easy way to activate and deactivate parts of a recording and increase and decrease the wet/dry of a certain effect in the track. I also used this effect rack in some of my vocal layering, although I made it completely by accident with messing around with some of the effects. I'm not entirely sure how I made it, but I thought it sounded nice and I created a very spacey atmospheric effect on my vocals that sounded similar to adding chorus and reverb together.
Tell me why it hurts to see you fall, makes it worse but I can't seem to see all the things around me.
A technique that I quite like to use a lot on my track are sweeps. Sweeps are a smooth way of transitioning the song to different segments of the song, i.e. pre-chorus to chorus. It can also be used to smoothly introduce new instruments and vocals in a track. I use a combination of simple crashes for sweeps and my own guitar sample. I use the cymbal on the drum kit and reverse the recording to create a sweeping effect that can be used to create build-ups and drops if you don't reverse it. For my own guitar sweeps, I opened two separate audio tracks in Ableton, one with the guitar sample in and the other set to record from the sample guitar track, by changing the track's input from the audio interface to the sample track. I then cut out the start and initial note of the sample and added a reverb preset on Ableton called Forest Floor, which creates an almost drowning effect on the guitar with a long reverb decay time to create a tail which fades off after the first note. When this is recorded and then reversed, it creates a sweep, which then can be used to smoothly transition to new segments of the song. A good example of this that I used as reference is this video by a YouTuber called Zol, who demonstrated this production technique very well. A key element to my track is that a lot of it is sampled, which I used the H6 recorder from my campus to record. Things like pouring drinks, camera shutter sounds, flip lighter flint strikes, sneezes and coughs are all used in the track. The flip lighter recording was used as a hi-hat in the track, and I also paired sneezing and the sweeps to create more of an impact at the end of the sweep. I used the recording of a camera flash to introduce a new part of a verse for a more stylistic approach. I used a recording of pouring a drink in the background of some of my verses and choruses, just simply because I thought it sounded nice. In the chorus, I combined the pouring of the drink and the camera flash for a more aggressive tone in the recording, to add more impact to the chorus, and so you could tell the difference between the ones that are in the verses and the ones that are in the chorus. Evaluation. Overall, I really liked the instrumental of the track. I felt the guitar, bass and E-piano along with the strings were really well mixed and blended in really nicely with each other to create an atmospheric chorus. The kick was very clean and very present during the track, which I really like. The use of sampling added a more relatable theme to the song, and using everyday objects in the song creates a sense of nostalgia. After finishing the instrumental, I almost didn't want to add vocals to it as I felt it would ruin it. I gave it a go anyway and actually quite enjoyed the verses, though I found it quite hard to write something for the chorus that would work well with the very electronic heavy strings, so I left it as just instrumental as I thought it was quite impactful enough already. The use of rap complemented the simple guitar to follow up from the relatable and nostalgic theme, and the use of distortion and filter on my vocals also suited the verses quite well, as it blends with the electronic parts of the instrumental. I would say at some parts of the track, the vocals may almost ruin the beauty of the instrumental, and it was incredibly hard to come up with something for the pre-chorus that was catchy but not too repetitive. I did struggle with mixing and blending the vocals into the instrumental a little bit, and I had to create a separate Ableton project with the instrumental exported onto it because my computer CPU couldn't handle all the effects on a single project. Getting the right levels and how much wet/dry I wanted of a certain effect was challenging, as I didn't want it to overpower the song but still wanted it present enough to make a clear difference. In the future, I think I might distance myself away from EDM type music as it's quite hard to write lyrics to and to sing and rap to. I quite enjoy having vocals in my songs, but in this particular song I found it quite challenging to perform. If I had more time, I'd also like to add more layering to my vocals to add more atmosphere to the chorus and to complement the synthesized strings, as I love the use of layering vocals to almost completely dehumanize them.